Good evening, YouTube. Hardball Crazy here, coming back for a second video. This was the planned video I was going to have next, but my previous one with the Wait Hoyt card came in, so I had to do that one too. But I want to show you off my little collection of Dem Bums. If you don't know who the Dem Bums were, they were the Brooklyn Dodgers of the old 40s and 50s and such. Maybe I don't know what officially what year they accumulated nicknames, but probably older than that because the Brooklyn fans says, "Up, these are my team. Believe they're good," so they call them Dem Bums. And I did try to accumulate a little collection of players, but it's kind of happened over time. So I'm gonna kind of give you a collection of my old Brooklyn Dodger players and such. First ones I'm going to start off with is some players from the era who I have cards of, playing days cards of, but not as a Dodger. First, I want to start out with my Leo the Lip Durocher card. Here's his later days as a manager of the Cubs. Of course, he was a player and a manager. If you watch the movie 42, you know he was a manager with the Brooklyn Dodgers when Jackie Robinson came to the league, but Commissioner Happy Chandler suspended him because of his off-the-field shenanigans, I guess, his off-the-field lifestyle. So they kind of suspended him for the season. They got Burt Shotton as a manager for Jackie Robinson's debut season, but he was a longtime manager and player back in the day. He's also was a manager when Willie Mays broke in with the Giants. Leo the Lip Durocher. Next is part of my Tigers collection is Johnny Padres. Of course, he was a winning pitcher when the Brooklyn Dodgers finally beat the New York Yankees in the '55 World Series after numerous tries of failing in the World Series. So Johnny Padres for Brooklyn Dodger fans as always will be a hero. Finished his career with the Detroit Tigers. Including in this, my little collection, I'm not including Koufax and Drysdale. Even though they debuted with the Brooklyn Dodgers, I consider them more LA Dodgers than Brooklyn Dodgers, so I'm going to exclude them from my little collection here. This is just guys who are known predominantly as Brooklyn Dodgers. My next one is probably the best player not in the Hall of Fame, who was eligible in the Hall of Fame in the era, is Gil Hodges. I don't have him as a Brooklyn Dodger. It's part of my or LA/LA Dodgers. We'll get one eventually, but this is him as a Met. Towards his career, he did play for the Mets. I think of course, he was a manager of the '69 Miracle Mets. In between, he was a part of the Washington Senators organization as a manager. I'm not sure if he played with them too, because he pretty much went straight from player to manager. This is '63, Gil Hodges. My next one of the Brooklyn Dodger is never really played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, but he originally signed with them. The one and only Berto Clemente. This is out of the '94 Topps Archives. Brooklyn signed Clemente, played with the Montreal Royals, same team that Jackie Robinson played for. They tried to hide him, but Rule 5 draft, I believe at the time, the Pittsburgh Pirates signed him away, and the rest is history. So this is like the only card of him as a Brooklyn Dodger pictured with the Montreal Royals. Just kind of a cool card to have. My next one I pulled out of a pack, 2010 Upper Deck. It's not a playing days card of him, but I think it's a cool card to have. It's the Dem Bums insert set for the 2010 Topps with Carl Furillo. I think they reprinted some 55 Topps cards, and they made some 55 Topps cards of guys that weren't in the set. I think there was never a 55 Topps Carl Furillo. He was a right fielder for the team, all-star. Nickname was because he had a great arm to field the Reading Rifle. It's kind of a cool card, so I add that to my collection. Now back to my playing days Brooklyn Dodgers. Of course, if you've seen my Negro League playing days video, you're familiar with these. This is my Roy Campanella 55 Bowman, the TV set. The one and only 54 Topps Jackie Robinson. If you're a vintage collector, you have to have a Jackie Robinson card. I think that's the rule. And there's 54 Topps Joe Black. '58 Topps Don Newcomb. '59 Topps Jim Jr. Gilliam. '51 Bowman, a little higher, high numbers. Dan Bankhead. He was actually the first Negro League player, black player, pitcher in ever Major League history. Not Satchel Paige. It was actually Dan Bankhead. Didn't amount to much, but pretty good, nice card for 51. It just doesn't have any gum stains. Blue Jacket was 66. Mentioned a lot of gum stains in this set. Got a little bit down with the A and the L in baseball down there, but pretty good card. My next one is a modern day insert card for old Brooklyn Dodger. Found a box in a local retail store. 2001 Upper Deck Legends of New York. This set came out soon after 9/11. Has this all-time great sets of the four New York teams: the Brooklyn Dodgers, New York Yankees, New York Giants, and New York Mets. And inside this box, you get one hit, one jersey, or one autograph per set per box. I pulled a Carl Erskine jersey card. This is like my piece of old Dem Bums, the old Brooklyn Dodgers of the era. I think it's kind of a cool card to have in my collection. I have a piece of that era. Carl Erskine was pitched 2 no-hitters with the Dodgers back in the day. Pretty solid pitcher. The regular base set, I think, is one of the most favorite sets of the time. It's like the gorgeous base set. This is what the base set looks like. This is my Jackie Robinson out of it. Love it. Got the B here is like a felt. The Brooklyn logo is like a felt logo. Got the New York logo there. You got the 42 played, complete stats in the back. I love the base set, but the back, within the set, there's so many like highlight cards and other stuff that just kind of loses the eye appeal. If they actually expanded more of the player selection, because this player selection is kind of limited, and eliminate some of the highlight stuff, I would probably go for this set more. But I think this set here is an amazing looking set. Back to the vintage Brooklyn Dodgers. Here's my Pee Wee Reese for my Hall of Fame collection. And the Duke Snyder. As LA Dodger, but you know, he's most known for the 50s, Brooklyn. Who was better, Willie, Mickey, or the Duke? Everybody had their favorites back in the day. Great looking 60 Topps. My last two are a little bit of an oddball ones. I got this guy because I kind of collect guys who are kind of sort of like record holders, even if they're not like your traditional all-time greats, like all-time hits, home runs, wins, strikeouts, batting average, but sometimes it's a bit of obscure records. And this is an obscure record and a kind of obscure card. Really not a card, it's a stamp. 49 Eureka stamps. It's a pretty big set. Most edition National League guys, but all the stars are in there. You get Hall of Famers, Jackie Robinson, Roy Campanella, the Dodgers. You got Robin Roberts. You got a whole bunch of guys from 49. Obviously, it's a stamp size. This is Tommy Brown. He debuted with the Brooklyn Dodgers during World War II, when a lot of teams had a lot of players who were enlisted in the Army. So a lot of Major League teams had a scrounge around for players to fill rosters and have a competitive team. Tommy Brown holds the distinction of being the youngest position player in Major League Baseball history. Debuted at age 16, a few months older than Joe Nuxhall, being the youngest player ever to debut with the Cincinnati Reds. At age 17, the following year, He is the youngest player at 17 years old to ever hit a Major League Baseball home run. He was a shortstop. He was kind of a pretty good hitter in his youth, amateur days. Dodgers signed him out, but he made quite a few errors. So when World War II came to the end and Pee Wee Reese got his job back at shortstop, Tommy Brown became basically a career utility man. By the time the age of 25, ran around the mid-50s, he was out of baseball. But does hold a major league record to be the youngest position player ever and the youngest player ever to hit a home run. And this is a 49 Eureka stamp. It's a pretty affordable, nice looking set, pretty good photography. So you can get some Hall of Famers back in the day. My last one was like a legend of Brooklyn. It could have been a lot more, but he's a precursor to Duke Snider at center field. Mr. Pete Reiser. While 1941 came around, this also he shared a card with Cookie Levigetto. 1941 came around when Joe DiMaggio was hitting his 56th game hitting streak. Ted Williams was hitting 406 numerically in the National League. Harold Pete Reiser, in his first full year as a starter, was taking the National League by storm. He led the league in hitting, doubles, triples, slugging percentage. And unfortunately, also led the league in running into walls. He would concussion. Of course, back in the day, walls were not as soft as they are now. So he'd just go full-born right into the wall and major concussions and try to, next day he would be back in the lineup and kind of ruined his career. And of course, World War II came along and he hit a few more walls and came back. He got hurt in World War II in one of those wartime games, like pickup games. Also, and he's one of those would have been guys. This is 1941 double play. So this came out the year his breakout season. According to Beckett, this is his extended rookie card, but his rookie card is like his 48 Bowman, but this is his first really national card. 41 Bowman, this 41 double play is like 140 some cards, 144 card set. They're all two-player cards. The set has many Hall of Famers in there. Enos Slaughter, Johnny Mize, Hank Greenberg, Red Ruffing of the Yankees. Several other. It's just loaded with Hall of Famers, top stars. Some people back in the day cut them up in halves and collected them, but cards back are just blank. It came in two different series, I believe, and sometimes you get like a Hank Greenberg, I believe, his picture with two different players on his opposite side. They're pretty affordable, the cards they get, if you want to look to get some vintage Hall of Famers. But I'm trying to get guys, just with one card. But I want to get this Pete Reiser because it's like came out the year of 41, and this is like his only really Brooklyn Dodger card. That's the ones I have. There's other Dodger greats back in the day. But these are the ones that I have, and kind of the cards I accumulated without even trying to get a collection. But it's kind of something I thought I'd share with you. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.